Seattle Refined. Is it a case of life imitating art or vice versa?
And at each moment you think someone might say something to stop this roller coaster that's going completely out of control, and yet it doesn't.
We go behind the scenes of a classic play, but you've never seen it quite like this. Then a local mother searching for a home finds hope in song.
Oh my God. That was my dream come true.
Her musical prayer and what happened next will touch your heart. Plus,
they were public hangings. They took place right here behind this building. And when they died, when they were cut down, the bodies were not taken away. They were buried right there behind the jail.
and we take a trip north of the border for a haunted tour of Victoria. Seattle Refined starts now. Hi everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. We're in Magnolia today. You know, we love theater here on Refined, and one of the most searing and timeless dramas ever written is about to take audiences on a white-knuckle ride over at ACT Theater.
I must have good and legal proof that you have confessed to witchcraft, Proctor.
You're the High Court. Your word is good enough.
You might remember the 1996 Oscar-nominated movie, The Crucible, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. It's the film adaptation of Arthur Miller's 1953 Tony Award-winning play of the same name about the Salem witch trials. The play was inspired by Miller's own experience with the McCarthy hearings during the communist scare of the early 1950s. And it's a tale of paranoia and fear that still resonates today.
I think we're living in a society right now that is coming dangerously close to providing the same ingredients that allowed people to turn on each other.
Religion, conspiracy, and lust all fuel Arthur Miller's powerful play, The Crucible.
And it was a very interesting time where the morality started to lie in the hands of the accuser. So you had this entire village that sort of turned in on each other.
ACT's production of The Crucible is a gripping production that will propel you into present day.
We live in sort of a rage culture, a call-out culture, that is, you don't have to back up an argument, you just need to send a tweet. And all of a sudden, you've riled the hornet's nests of everybody's emotions, and we just push each other further apart.
It's a fresh take on challenging material, forcing the cast to go to dark and difficult places emotionally.
We've been tasked with finding surprises at every turn, telling the story that's in the script that has never been told the way that we're going to tell it.
It just feels very, the honesty of it, there's no showmanship or, it's not about the lights on the set. It's just about the space in between us and the audience. I just think it's a great creative way to approach this material.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me a little bit is, as big as this play is and as epic as it feels, there's so much intimacy. There's really there's wonderful intimate scenes between 2 and 3 people trying to find common ground.
The story is still as Arthur Miller wrote it, but director John Langs believes the impact it leaves is far greater.
I think what Arthur Miller's bigger point about the play, and where we will all recognize ourselves, is the individual human being's capacity to ignore their own goodness, to ignore the thing that they know is right, and to follow the herd into and be led by a power that goes unexamined, and a power that is absolute.
When you step inside the theater, Langs wants you to leave your expectations at the door.
We all have assumptions about ourselves and the people that we meet day to day, and I wanted stories that would challenge those assumptions. We're putting a bunch of characters on stage who really exemplify the gift of soul diving and being like, what's my responsibility here? And in that way, I think it's incredibly hopeful.
The Crucible runs through November 12th at ACT Theater. For more information, check out our website. If The Crucible doesn't float your boat, a Tony Award-winning masterpiece is getting a fresh reboot here in Seattle. Get ready! The musical Ragtime just opened at Seattle's Fifth Avenue Theater. Based on the book by E.L. Doctorow, Ragtime tells the story of the American experience at the turn of the 20th century through 3 very different sets of eyes. Tomorrow on Refined, we are going to sit down with the stars of the show. Ragtime runs through November 5th. Meanwhile, over at the Paramount, Disney's Aladdin is introducing audiences to a whole new world. Aladdin is, of course, the live stage adaptation of the wildly popular 1992 animated film. If one of your 3 wishes is to get your hands on some tickets, you should know Aladdin flies out of town October 29th. The Power of Music has set at least one local family on the course towards a better life. It's all because of a program called the Lullaby Project that allows homeless mothers to put their hopes and wishes for their children into song.
I love my kids. I love everything about my family, and I just want to keep all of us together.
Sabrina has seen her fair share of struggles. For almost a year, she and her husband have been homeless, staying at Mary's Place Family Center with their 2 babies. Keeping her family safe has been a huge challenge. Now she's ready for another one.
It's going to be one of my biggest challenges, and I'm going to get through it. Even if it's the only singing thing I do, I'm going to be able to say, I did this, and I did it for my babies.
Sabrina is looking to find strength with the Lullaby Project. It allows homeless mothers to compose songs written for their children with the Seattle Symphony.
I think the amazing part of the Lullaby Project is that you can see the transformation take place almost right away.
When we first met Sabrina, she was overcome with emotion, practicing her lullaby, Sleepy Dreamer.
Oh my God. That was my dream come true. God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, that was brilliant. That was amazing. Oh my God. Oh, wow.
I think that'll probably work.
Should we try it once from the beginning? Anything you need to change or anything?
No, absolutely not. The first verse is about mine and my husband's relationship and being together, and it's just us. Sleepy dreamer. And then the second verse is about my daughter. This is amazing. It's a new addition. This is exciting. And the third verse is scary, like, oh, what are we doing? We have 2 babies now. This is crazy. This is scary. But I ended saying, it's okay. This is okay. We can make it.
After a tearful practice, Sabrina took the stage at Benaroyal Hall to record her lullaby.
Sleepy dreamer, your path is out there. Sleepy dreamer, dream for me. Oh God. Oh God.
To her, to kind of bring it to life here and to record it on this stage, to be involved in that in any way, to feel like I'm just a small part of bringing that to life was so special for me.
Sleepy dreamer, you are safe here. Sleepy dreamer, close your eyes. God. Wow. I know exactly which take that was. It was the last one because I started to chuckle because I just couldn't believe I was up there.
How are you planning to use your lullaby?
I'm going to give it to Grandma so that she can play it and put the kids to sleep.
Nice.
And treasure it forever.
What was really touching at the sharing session was just hearing how meaningful these songs are and this CD is for these parents. You know, they talked a lot about being homeless. They don't have a lot of things. And these songs are a way to create family heirlooms that they can pass on to their children.
Most mothers leave it to the symphony to perform their lullabies in a special Mother's Day concert, but not Sabrina. She's the only one this year to perform in front of family and friends. Through the power of song and determination, Sabrina's musical wish came true.
We got called for a house. So we'll know within the next week, but we might be getting housing very soon. Now my song really is a story, because the last verse was supposed to be about our home and our hopes for the future. And now we have very close to a home and very many more hopes for the future. We're going to be so happy from now on.
Since that story first aired, we now know that 7 of the mothers who participated in the Lullaby Project have moved into more stable housing. Seattle Refined is just getting started. Ever heard the expression, "It was like herding cats"? Well, that's nothing compared to trying to get these Halloween supermodels to behave. But first,
she had a sizable mass taken out of the right side of her brain.
A local family gives back to a charity that helps save their daughter's life. Find out how you can light up the lives of others too. But first, we need your help to crown the very best of the season around Western Washington. That's right, we are launching the first ever So Northwest Awards Fall Edition. Beginning next week, we want you to log on and nominate your favorite autumn things to do, see, drink, and eat in our region. Voting starts Monday. All you got to do is log on to seattlerefined.com/awards. And yes, if you participate, you could be eligible for a big grand prize. We'll tell you more about that next week. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. You know, it seems like we've had more than our fair share of bad news lately, and sometimes it's hard to remember that it doesn't take a lot to lift the spirits of someone else. That's why Como is proud to be the official partner of a great event happening this Saturday to brighten the lives of those battling cancer. Anna is the light of her parents' life. But when she was just 4 years old, every parent's worst fear, a diagnosis of cancer, and the worry their little girl's bright light would be dimmed.
It's been a long path. It's kind of hard to think about.
Anna was diagnosed with leukemia on January 10th, 2011.
It was a pretty aggressive one. Most kids will hit remission after the first cycle, after about the first month, and she didn't. And so because of that, we had to do some extra things that most kids with her diagnosis don't do. She had to do extra rounds of chemo. She had to do some cranial radiation. She also had a stroke, a year off treatment, and she had a sizable mass taken out of the right side of her brain, and I had to learn how to walk again. But honestly, you wouldn't know any of that if you meet her today.
Anna is now 11 years old, and this spring will mark 5 years since she beat cancer.
That's a huge milestone because, when they talk about survivors, I mean, she's been off treatment for a while now, and even for her, the memories fade a little bit because how much do you remember from being a kindergartner? It's it fades, but for us, we remember a lot of it.
Anna and her family credit a lot of their success to events that raise money and awareness. This Saturday, you will see lanterns in 3 different colors lighting up Seattle Center for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's annual Light the Night Walk.
Red for supporters and white for survivors, and yellow in memory of those who didn't win their battle.
For Anna, she has a specific wish for future Light the Nights.
I would like there to be more white lanterns and less gold lanterns because the gold lanterns are in memory of.
And she says there's really no excuse not to join the cause.
If all of the people who have cancer can have chemo and transplants and radiation, then we should be able to walk for a little bit.
The money raised in this weekend's Light the Night Walk will fund life-saving treatments that families like Anna's depend on.
Give everybody a chance to kind of, recognize everything they've gone through to get to this point. You think you're okay, and then, these random moments will catch you, and you'll just see something, and suddenly, the tears are coming, and you'll remember kind of what you've been through and how fortunate we are to be where we're at, and how much work we still have to do for everybody else.
The Light the Night event is this Saturday at 5 p.m. at Fisher Pavilion at the Seattle Center. To learn more, log on to our website. Coming up on Refined, models can be such crybabies, especially when they are babies. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, there's something about the fall season that just gives everyone a glow. Need proof? Check out Seattle Humane's Glow in the Park. Dogs and their owners paraded around Green Lake, decked out in glow sticks and costumes to raise money for the Humane Society's Disaster and Life Save Rescue Fund. If you missed it, you can check out a complete gallery on our website. This next Halloween story never fails to make my producer Jenna cry like a baby. That's because her baby is one of the stars, and every time she sees it, it reminds her of just how fast she's growing up. Now, we do warn you, the cute factor is off the chart, so roll the tape. Getting 8 babies together in costume was cute, but crazy. To pull it off, we knew there was only one place to go, Champion Party Supply.
Yeah, I pretty much have like everything here. I hate saying no to customers, so if a customer asks for something that I don't have, I always like run to my office and order it. So we've been in business since 1936. We started in the Pike Place Market. My grandfather started the company. My dad took over in the 70s. I bought the company from him last year.
When we told Champion about Refine's baby photo shoot, they were happy to help.
We have a whole children's section. We have more children's costumes than we've ever had before. We've gotten a lot more parents in here ever since we moved closer to the Magnolia Bridge. It's really easy for families to get here. So yeah, we're here to cater to all babies and all kids and stuff now.
When the parents and kids arrived, they had plenty to choose from.
What do you think? Do you love it?
The hard part? Picking a costume and keeping the little one still.
I lost my baby.
I lost my binky. Yours is more important.
I gotta find you a costume.
What do you want to be?
This one might fit Zach.
I just don't know what he's gonna think of the head thing.
After corralling the babies, we headed to a park on Upper Queen Anne for the moment of truth. Luckily, we got some awesome shots at the beginning, but it wasn't long before our monkey had had enough. After 5 minutes, our model started to melt down. All in all, we call our first baby photo shoot a success. Now, we all need a nap. In case you're wondering, my producer Jenna, her little pumpkin is the one dressed like Princess Leia. But that was last year. Here's what she looks like now. They grow up so quick. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Now, you've probably gathered by now that the Refined staff really loves Halloween, and we also love traveling. So when we recently found ourselves in Victoria, we wanted to learn more about the city's ghostly past. Walking around Victoria during Halloween is enchanting, but spooky. The rich history of the city means it has a dark past.
Victoria's a very haunted city. Many of the places have their own resident ghosts.
John Adams owns Ghostly Tours and leads people on bone-chilling adventures.
You can have a haunted holiday in Victoria at any time of the year, but I think around Halloween it really ramps up.
Victoria has a reputation of being the most haunted city in Canada. One of the creepiest spots is an empty building in Old Town that used to house a jail.
They were public hangings. They took place right here behind this building. And when they died, when they were cut down, the bodies were not taken away. They were buried right there behind the jail.
John says it doesn't matter if you believe in ghosts or not. You can't avoid them in Victoria.
But, of course, we always remind people that people come to Victoria for the ghosts, but whether they want a haunted holiday or not, they're going to get one. When you turn down the lights and say goodnight, and something else climbs into bed with you, or you see that dark shadow move across the room and then suddenly disappear through the wall, well, you're in Victoria. If you haven't seen a ghost, you just haven't been here long enough.
For more on that story or any of our refined adventures on Vancouver Island, check out our website. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gard Swanson. Thanks for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.